This is a song about growth and change.
That's not the beginning of it. All right, and again.
The aforementioned technical difficulties have rearisen.
Don't do that.
They will do that.
You told us.
I did. I told you to expect technical difficulties. I have delivered technical difficulties.
Whenever you have that many wires and makeup, shit just goes wrong.
Damn, man. Fucking wires.
You simplest. You simplest. Fucking fade out every time one man made up.
Okay.
This is it.
This is a song about Cthulhu.
Really, another?
Little dream about busting.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. us this evening. Thank you to the Fifth Circle.
We appreciate it.
The lovely staff of the Jolly Rouge and the costume shop. And the emergency room. And the emergency room. Thank you. Good night.
You bastard!
What? You want orders? You want orders? Is that it? Play that song? Is that it?
I was thinking it was Chinese at first, but it's
Okay, I've come to ask you a couple of questions. It's Face the Nation. Are you prepared now to change your strategy in Iraq?
well, my strategy in Iraq has always been fuck them if they can't take a joke, but I don't know if we can put that on TV. How are you, John?
I'm good. How are you?
Welcome to Planet Earth.
Would you care to be on my television show?
I heard you had a television show, and being a media hound, where I just go out of my way to throw myself at the mercy of the media. I haven't made a fool of myself on TV for quite some time. I would love to.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
But maybe if we had a disguise I could wear, or just a piece of black paper in front of my eyes, or something where my identity wouldn't be so.
There we go.
You are the mad scientist guy.
That's me. Yes.
Blackwell, right?
Yes. Come close. Look right up into my camera lens and say R. Well, that's too close. Okay, about. Okay, wait a minute.
If you could just rearrange them so that they still look.
All right.
Yeah.
Now sort of come in and go R.
Yarr.
Can we get a mean
Where do you keep your booty?
and say you're watching Anarchy TV.
You're watching Anarchy TV. Yarr.
George Grosz, Otto Dix, Max Beckmann, Rembrandt, Goya, anyone decent. And the others, no. Nobody did it. If it was nobody thought what I felt was very good, I didn't want to know about it. So
And what is it about these? I mean, is there any common theme amongst these artists who have influenced you? They were good, but what was it about them that?
Unrelenting, uncompromising. Simply that, uncompromising. If you think it, you can draw it. And if you're going to think it, you don't say, well, I can't do that, I just thought of it, it's a bit too much, won't do that. I drew what I thought, and it was an uncompromising approach to many things that I wanted to do. That was a sweet one. There's a nice little pretty thing for you. It's I suddenly thought fishing is like that, and then the fish is looking down and say, oh, it's just about, and then the hook starts to do this, So it's acting me funny too, it's funny. But it's vicious funny, because there's a little bit of...
Right.
And the worm's still there too.
Another question.
And there's a thing at the end of the pier. And I suddenly watched these people on the end of a pier, and they were fishing. And I suddenly thought, are there any fish down there or what? And then I thought, hey, there's one. And he's up against the... and I was looking to see what's happening. That's so... and that's a flying dog ale drawing. I think it's called Wild Dog. No? What? All around? Hell around? Hellhound, that's what it's called.
Well,
Flying Dog Ale.
one last question.
Hot damn ale, eh?
Hunter.
I'm gonna have one afterwards, by the way. This relentless questioning. I need a Hellhound ale.
Hunter was a great friend of yours and
Yeah.
a great friend of a lot of people here, but
Yeah.
he can also be very difficult.
Yes.
What was the secret to maintaining a 35-year relationship with somebody like Hunter S.
That he
Thompson?
was difficult, and I was just as fucking difficult in my way. To him, I gave him hell. He gave me hell. But there was something there because he kept on ringing me and he kept sending ridiculous faxes and stuff at me. I mean, I didn't want to know about him, anything. But he kept on at me, so I stayed. I'd, okay, Hunter, you know, what do you need now? Ralph, this is what you need. You know, and he'd go on. No, we had a good relationship. And the brutality, if you can call it that, was really a bonhomie, you know? A way of, I mean, you know how people in a rugby or a football scrum beat the hell out of each other, but in fact they enjoy working together, you know. Oh hell, bang! Well, you fall down and you don't, you know, I don't know. There was something about that which, it was the only way I felt like a man, you know, because otherwise I don't actually listen all like this, you know. So I don't, you know, I never, that's the problem with me, I don't know where I am. I can't tell you. Is it gone too long, is it?
Okay,
George
well-
Orwell, there we go.
I am...
look, you know here, Gertrude Stein and Alice B. Toklas together, bless them.
This is not another
And
question,
there's Hunter,
Ralph.
by the way. You want to see Broken? I'll show you Broken. There you are. That's one that hasn't been done before.
You've been
That's-
given a lifetime award membership? A lifetime membership.
It was that good tonight. We had this that bad tonight that I've got to have a lifetime award.
They'll take anyone. You've been given a lifetime membership to the Denver Press Club.
Wow! Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, and thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, great. I'll just quickly go through these. That's a clown. You see the idea of a clown? The smile hides all this. You do?
This is Anita.
This is Anita
Hunter's
Thompson,
wife.
ladies and gentlemen.
I just have a question, Ralph. I've never asked you this about your artwork.
Yeah.
Did you have this, for example, this right here, this,
Feature like that.
yeah. Did you have this in your mind before you started, or did you just see how
I had the idea of a clown, but I wasn't sure how it was going to come out. And I wanted to and I suddenly thought, clowns are vicious. I think clown humor is vicious. You know, I mean, they're always hitting each other over the heads with things. You know, I mean, you know, Hunter had a hammer that made noises, and you know, it's clowning. And that was a kind of thing that Hunter was good at. You know, he was a clown, but he wasn't this vicious. This is really unpleasant. I mean, that is quite unpleasant. It should be for the next. I mean, something to advertise the Republicans in the next election. You know, something like this. Be it, wouldn't it? Do it, something like that. You know, say, "Hey, we're ready, okay, folks." You know, and then behind it is this hideous. And that's for services to your country. That's how you get that's it. I did that back in the 60s, so before I met Hunter. That was done. And we're just, you know, that's what I was doing. I was really doing my gonzo back then, but Hunter was also writing his. But then when we met, there was something that was going on, you know, that we needed to deal with together, you know. And that's the Iraqi war. That's ridiculous. And that is Northern Ireland, 1970. And the idea of having blood transfusions going in and coming out the other end, still. Because that's what was the problem. That's Iraq. It's happening. Blood transfusions going in, blood coming out the other end. As quickly as it's going in and faster. And that's where we are now. And tomorrow night you've got to vote. And I do believe you've got to vote. It's not just your right, it's your duty to vote, actually. And I think it should be made law to vote. Everyone has to vote, even if they muck up their ballot thing. And I think it should be a little pencil on a string with a lead pencil coming out, and a piece of paper, and you put your cross right where you need it, and where it is, and none of this electronic crap that we've got here, you know. So I think that's what you've got to do. And please go out and vote tomorrow. So that's so much for a stranger, you know. And that's Hunter's liver on holiday. Okay. And that's the one that made the cover, you know. That's fun. And this is my hopeful cartoon #1. I never got a #2 or 3. But there's well, I got a #2, but it's worse. The thing is, it's that, 2000, Getting Happy, you know, with a little flower on top and everything. Flower by courtesy, Mother Hubbard's Flower Farm, Luce Valley, Kent. This is nice. And then that's the second one I got. I did another one and thought, oh Christ, it's fallen to bits. It's all gone downhill. And there's Hunter on holiday no, he's in Grenada, that was it. I see no Cubans. It's a colour picture, but that's all I've got of it left. No, I don't. And that's Hunter's mother and father, by the way. You know, don't upset yourself, honey. He was always such a willing boy. No. I thought that made me, you know, a fun picture to do. Hunter didn't like that picture, so I did. Oh, and that's that funny walk he had. And I tried to explain it in anatomy, as you can see. And that's him traverse vertical X-ray section displaying near symmetrical superior turbinated bones and near effect and intact and adenoid tissue mucous membrane in olfactory regions. And that is Hunter's mother, Virginia Thompson, 92. Episcopal Church, Holmes, Louisville, Kentucky, November 30, 1997. I wish I'd met her earlier. I really had a super time with her, so I did a drawing of her, you know. And
Did she like that?
yes, she liked anything like that that was weird, slightly. It wasn't looking for perfection. It looks like her, yeah. I know. No, I actually put on the Lizard Lounge in an old people's home. The Lizard Lounge from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. There's a huge print, and I had it framed up and put on there, and people were knocking on the door to come and see this weird print. That's great. You know, that was nice, and I sort of wished I'd known a little earlier, you know. That was one of the pictures that never got into the Fear and Loathing book. The desk clerk, the Murray in Las Vegas. And that's, I am a jester, and suddenly I'm speechless. Oh, come on, I can think plenty of things, and I'm only a figment. And this is quite interesting. This is from the 60s, and it's the man, you know, meeting a black potential son-in-law for the first, well, he doesn't know that at the first time. And then they're talking, they're getting, you know, he's getting pally with him. And as he gets pally, the black man gets slightly lighter and lighter and lighter, and then white like that. Then he wants to marry his daughter. Suddenly, bah, it's back to this, you know. And this was our fishing trip in Hawaii. I always thought it reminds me of Hemingway for some reason. That picture, I loved it. And Hunter is just trying to bash the sense out of a fish, but he didn't do it. It was all show. And that was me, 1960, 79, 72, in France. And this is me remembering Granny. This is, if we want to hear these things suddenly. Sunday afternoons were a big treat. Excited, I would be packed off with my favorite toy and a packet of fags to see this fine old lady of long ago, who for me represented all that was respectable and genteel and just plain nice. She would tell me quaint old stories of the early days of TV, when there were only 3 channels, when sex was a dirty word and high society scandals had news value. Often I would hold her rocking chair steady as she coughed and spluttered over a king-size filtered tip cigarette. I never once went home empty-handed. Now get the hell out of here, she would wheeze, stuffing some little keepsake into my coat, a bottle of gin perhaps, or a book of nudes. The memory of this kindly old figure of fun with her gaily coloured pills and owly fix has sustained me through many a 3-month orgy at Wembley Stadium. To me, that memory will remain as something good and true and permanent, but which, alas, outside my mind is no more. Tears. That was a 60s drawing too. That's very bad. And that's somebody's living room who suddenly got too many cars and doesn't know what to do, so they become sort of... And there's the boat again, on the, you know, Hunter writing, or he's either looking at the newspaper or writing notes. He might have been trying to write the piece for the fishing trip. And that's Google. There they are. Oh, and that's Madison Avenue, New York, Tomb of the Unknown Advertiser. And that's New York, generally, as a thing, you know, people. Oh, I like this one. Hold the front page. I think we've got a story. There's a guy come in with a picture. And that's an oil painting. I mean, used with actual car oil. You know, car oil in the derricks, in oil derricks. And that's of Saddam bin Laden, you know. And they found him yesterday, but it may be a rumor, but I don't know, but he's maybe there. He may be in this audience. You know. And that's Oscar Wilde. That's Elbury Beardsley-esque, yeah. Good, well spotted. And that's Prometheus and the head of the Gorgon, you know. And that's Leonardo da Vinci trying to fly. And that is a Leonardo da Vinci-esque perspective, which I did, and suddenly brought in a bit of modern art here. You know. And then, I like that. No, son, your father was not descended from a gorilla, but your mother sure as hell was. You know. Oh, and this is the one that I sent this to Juan. The idea of going on stage and being interviewed about Hunter and the book, you know. This was back in Cheltenham Book Fair, book festival about 4 weeks ago. And I've written the thing that Hunter said, it isn't literature, Ralph, until it's sold. And this is the new Transparent Party. But deep down we're all the same, you know. All different, but deep down we're all the same. We are Transparent Party. What you see is what you get. Which one are you? That was just a fun thing. And this is a couple of drunks in Covent Garden, which was done this year. And that became a picture, half photograph, half, because I had about a London bus. I was certainly not going to draw a London bus. They're so familiar, you may as well put one in, you know. And that's the noose of zero tolerance for this society you live in today, you know. And it's how it feels to me, because I'm a smoker, you know. So, and that's, we are a great nation, ain't we, Ma? Sure we are, son. Ask your pa. We whoop ass. Listen to your ma, son. She whooped mine. And she'll whoop yours, too. That's enough questions for one day, son. You're taxing my brain. And that's the angry tree. It starts off little over here, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It just screams, you know. And that's our world. That's interestingly strong. And that's an election in England. All we need now is a nice drop of rain. And that's the gates of hell, which we're all going to look at sometime. You can tell me how accurate it is, you can send word. Take your laptop with you, you know. That's whose world is it anyway? This is the G7 conference where all the nations get together and discuss it. And that's what happens to the Pope. I don't know, it's just, you know. And that's Flying Dog. I thought I'd put Flying Dog in, you know. There's Flying Dog for you. It's a good ale. But I like this bit. It's not on the one on the bottle, but the gears, that's how it does this. Without those gears, it doesn't do it. And there's Hunter, and I've started a painting. I've painted it out since then, but it doesn't matter, I'll do another. And that's Hunter S. Thompson Legal Defense Fund. Tomorrow's pig is tomorrow's bacon. Today's pig is tomorrow's bacon. And that's Notoneus. I invented a god called Notoneus. God of organization, because he's not none. Notoneus. Yes. Call Nottingham. He'll know what to do. He knows where we are. And these were odd bottles of wine I made up using the process of paranoid or Polaroid, you know. And that's a theatre of war, the people going shooting things into each other. And that's Hunter as a little boy. It's a real photograph, as you will know. And end of slideshow, click to exit.
We love you, Ralph.
Oh, there we go. Oh, thank you. There we go. It's the first time I've used this thing. I don't know. Pleasure. There we go.
Folks,
So,
thank you all for coming. We're going to shut the cameras off. I mean, if Ralph would like to stay and talk, we can do that, but I think we're running
no,
out of tape.
they look at the faces. They're sick to death of this.
Yes.
Look at them.
So, again, thank you for coming this evening.
Everybody's done.
You sing us a song.
Yeah. I try each day to live my life according to the trials and strife I find around my ankles and my home. I travel far, I travel wide. I hid myself in the countryside, attempting to achieve some peace of mind. Well, I don't wanna bid the world goodbye. I don't wanna bug you with a sigh. I don't need to stress the God Almighty mess we're in. I do my best to overcome the inclinations of a bum that hang around the entrails of my brain. There's always one who ain't too proud to cut loose from the mindless crowd and climb out of the hole that we're all in. Well, I don't want to bid the world goodbye. I don't want to bug you with a sigh. I don't need to state the future of our fate looks grim. Well, I travel on and make simple themes that shape our lives, that drive our thoughts and thwart our tries, are coming from the same place all the time. So I do my best. Travel on. I'll get into the other bit. So it don't make sense to gather moss. This is unfortunate of you to do this to me. Don't make sense to gather moss, to think your life a bloody loss, to give up living life without a try. So throw yourself in the deadly flow, ignoring everything you know, and you will find your doodah if you try. Listen to the birdies sing. Isn't it a hopeful sign of spring? Okay.
Ralph Steadman was illustrator for Hunter S. Thompson's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He also illustrated a 50th anniversary edition of George Orwell's Animal Farm and Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. For more on Ralph Steadman and his work, visit ralphsteadman.com. History, biography, and public affairs. You watch.
Musical guest Eliza Lynn. And our co-host for tonight's show, Mr. Sustainability himself, Ned Doyle. With special guests Larry Shirley, Director of the North Carolina State Energy Office, and David Wallace of the Western Energy Office. The theme of tonight's show is energy independence, and they're going to help us all understand more about that important subject. Hello everyone, I'm Coco Palmer. We are so glad you could be with us for our first Green Radio Bistro show. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Booth.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hand me some of that cornbread, pass around those collard greens. Would you like some sweet potatoes? How about some pinto beans? I'm a happy man with a simple home, a peaceful mind, and a happy song. If the profits fade, I can still get along, 'cause you don't die when the money is gone. Now my little place is nice and clean, and I keep it straight, if you know what I mean. Loved ones often at my door. How, my friend, could you ask for more? I'm a happy man with a simple home, a peaceful mind, and a happy song. If the profits fade, I can still get along, 'cause you don't die when the money's gone. Now if you work hard nearly every day for your stocks and bonds, and you put them away, and you got so much and you still want more, what, my friend, do you do that for? Are you a happy man with a simple home, a peaceful mind, and a happy song? If the profits fade, can you still get along, 'cause you don't die when the money is gone? Now words of wisdom are hard to find, but I'd invest in peace of mind. Reach for your heart and open the door. How, my friend, could you ask for more? You'll be a happy man with a simple home, a peaceful mind, and a happy song. If the profits fade, you can still get along, 'cause you don't die when the money is gone. Honey, you don't die when the money is gone. Thank you so much. Thank you, and welcome everyone to the Green Radio Bistro. This is our debut show, and we really appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Part of the objective of the Green Radio Bistro is to, of course, present entertainment. And in Western North Carolina, we have so much wonderful entertainment that's native to the area. And we hope that you will all enjoy the singer-songwriters that we'll be bringing to you in the first 13-week series. Tonight, we're really fortunate to have with us Eliza Lynn. And thank you. Eliza was recently chosen the best singer-songwriter in Western North Carolina by Mountain Express, and she'll be playing for us a little bit later in the show. Another important thing that we're going to be trying to highlight in the program throughout these first 13 weeks is sustainability. Now, sustainability is a word that we hear more and more every day, but it's hard to put your finger on just exactly what it really is. So we're going to be having guests that can really help us all understand a little bit more about what sustainability really means and how it relates to the way we live our daily lives. And to help us do that, we're going to start our first interview here with Ned Doyle. Ned is the founder of the Enviro Expo, the Sea Expo that happens down at the Ag Center every year. He's formerly a staff member with Mother Earth News and with Mother Earth News Eco Village, and has a great deal of experience in alternative energy, alternative transportation, and we're really fortunate to have him with us tonight. And with his first interview guest, we're so happy to have Larry Shirley, who is the director of the North Carolina State Energy Office from Raleigh. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ned Doyle.
It's a pleasure to see all of you here for our premier evening of the Green Radio Bistro. And if I'm Mr. Sustainability,
It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Sustainability himself, Larry Shirley, the Director of the State Energy Office. Talking about sustainability, as Ian just said, it is a huge topic. There's so much to it. Fortunately, it's gone more from being a coffee table conversation to something that people are really taking to heart. There's so much to it that I think probably the core, essential element, the most important part of sustainability is our environmental sustainability, respecting, conserving, and stewardship for our planet, because we are part of planet Earth. That's it. We've got to respect what we've got. But today, in our society and across the globe, despite all the interrelationships, despite all the complications and all the information that's out there, really the core key, both the problem and the answer to sustainability issues is in energy. Our energy policy, our energy choices, our energy uses are at the very center of sustainability issues today. So it's a real pleasure to have you here, Doctor, for this interview, because there probably are a few more people that are as qualified, but not necessarily as dedicated and motivated. So welcome to the program.
Thank you, Ned. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we're going to get into a little bit about the policy and the approaches and the background, but first off, what was it that got you started with energy, alternative energy, sustainable energy, and all the work you do? What kind of dedication?
Well, it really goes back to when I was a teenager. I was born in Asheville, and I grew up on the other side of the mountains in East Tennessee. And some folks may remember a dam that was built there, at which the issue was the snail darter, and saving the snail darter, saving the ruins of Cherokee villages that existed there in the Little Tennessee River. So I worked on that project, and then I discovered the ravages of strip mining, what producing coal in Appalachia can lead to, which is contaminated and polluted streams, devastated landscape, and a number of other serious environmental consequences. And what that's all about, though, is producing energy so that we can keep our lights on. And I realized the effect there of those two things working together. So that's what drove me to work in energy.
Well, today, as the Director of the State Energy for North Carolina, you are responsible for a dizzying array of programs and efforts and outreach. How about giving us at least an initial overview of some of the things that the State Energy Office does to help with sustainable energy programs and put the state on the right path?
Well, one of the things we'd like people to know at the very outset is that if they need energy information, we're the place to come to. EnergyNC.net is our website, and feel free to phone us as well, because we've got information on an array of energy conserving techniques, materials, things folks can do in terms of renewable energy in their homes and their businesses. One thing North Carolina has that we're abundantly blessed with is a lot of renewable energy. From wind energy up here in the mountains and down on the coast, to solar energy throughout the state that comes from the sun that gets up every day, to what we call biomass energy, energy from plants and animals and waste, of which North Carolina is truly the Saudi Arabia of biomass. So we've got a lot of energy that we can tap. But right now what we're doing is importing most of our energy, often from hostile, unstable regimes abroad that we can't count on to supply us the next day necessarily. So we need to make the conversion to the fuels we can produce here in North Carolina.
Well, that's interesting, because North Carolina is one of a number of states that essentially has no fossil fuels, has no source of non-renewable energy, which is interesting in a lot of, because we can do it ourselves. We can provide the space heating, we can provide the electricity, we can provide the energy we need to live a great life and not have to rely on foreign oil, or domestic for that matter, and these other non-renewable sources of energy. So it's encouraging for me, and I know for a lot of other people, to know that the state agency is there, is actually supporting this and helping people learn. There's also the North Carolina Solar Center. That's an outreach program that helps folks, the real citizens, get a handle on whether it's sunrooms or greenhouses or tax credits.
That's right. There's a tremendous amount of information available to citizens through the North Carolina Solar Center, which is located at North Carolina State University. There's a model solar house there that folks can take advantage of and visit any day of the week and Sunday afternoons. But there are also just a ton of fact sheets and other information available from them or through their website. And you can also contact them at 1-800-33-NC-SUN to get information and have your questions answered. And also, if you want to build a house or retrofit a house, if you will, they provide free design reviews for you. So they'll go over your plans and help you out. Just one of several programs we have, but I think a really critical one.
It certainly is an excellent source of information. I'm just finishing up on a sunroom for a solar workshop